The Desensitization of Sexual Assault by Sophia B. and Jennifer C.
Hey, where you going? Wanna hang out with us?
Yeah. Nice legs, kid.
Oh, come on. Come on, baby. Come back here. Walk one time.
Hey, this way.
Oh, come on.
Sexual assault can come in many ways, some that people don't even think about, and harassment can all too easily escalate to assault. Even between partners, sexual assault can occur. 1 in every 3 women have been sexually assaulted.
It's actually a lot. It happens a lot more than people would realize. So I actually have some facts. So there are, I believe, over 365 something girls in the Tri-Cities that are being trafficked every night. That's not a question. I don't want to say that people aren't working towards this because they. I think there's a lot of people that hear about human trafficking and say, oh, okay, that's nice, and then they go and do something else. And I'm not saying that everyone's calling or everyone's mission or whatever. I'm not saying that everyone needs to be a full-on fighting human trafficking kind of thing. But women and children, I mean, the average age is 11 to 14 years old that are being trafficked. And so, I mean, they have no voice. And so I think that needs to be more people that hear that and actually, instead of just sitting on their couch and doing nothing and feeling sad, should actually go out and do it. There are people that are helping, and I'm not saying that there's no one out there fighting human trafficking, because there is a lot. I mean, Agape International Missions, IJM, all those people are working really hard. But I think, is there enough people? Probably not. I mean, I think more kids especially, because it's happening to kids, need to jump on top of it and actually do something. Like this, I mean, doing a project on human trafficking, that's what I did for my senior project. So I think something like this is amazing, and then you can go out and tell kids. So I think it's all about getting people to stop feeling sad about it, because that does nothing for them. To start feeling sad, but then going out and doing something as well. So. There are a couple different groups. I don't know all of them. Most churches have some sort of group on it. I know CBC has a group. I'm not really sure their name, but we actually just partnered with them. There is, specifically at Bethel, which is what I work with, Sold the Human Trafficking exhibit. You can find a way to put it inside your school. You can put it, if you have a church, you can put it in there. If you have anything, putting the Sold exhibit is an amazing way for kids to learn about human trafficking, because, I mean, you just walk through from room to room to room, and you're hearing their story. So it's a little bit more real, and there's smells and different things that kind of trigger. So there's that, so you can get involved with working with Sold. There's the Freed Ministry, which works fighting against human trafficking. There's the International Justice Mission. There's a lot of different organizations that you can get involved in. It's all about just plugging into one. So. A lot of the times it really depends on what happened, how far did it go, what kind of person is she. It really varies. Obviously it's going to affect her for the rest of her life. I mean, when something as bad as that happens, it's not something that you forget lightly, but there are different houses that they can go to. I know specifically in Vegas, there's something called, of course I'm going to forget the name, there's actually a show on it, and this girl who was a former prostitute made this home for the girls, and they can, once they're out of prostitution or trying to get out, then they can go to this home. And a lot of the times you just see like what's going through their minds, and everything triggers them. And I mean, it's kind of something hard to put like a specific pin on what will happen to them. It depends on, do they get counseling? Do they have the right counseling? But most likely it's gonna affect them for the rest of their lives. But a lot of girls do get out and then they start helping the girls. In the Tri-Cities, there are homes here that they can stay in, but the problem with having homes for them is that we don't really have many. That's definitely something. I work with SARC sometimes, and I took their 32-hour training, whatever it is, and they said that the one thing that they have the hardest thing is finding homes for these kids and the women and all that in domestic violence situations, whether it's human trafficking, whether it's just an abusive boyfriend or an abusive husband. So a lot of the times when homes fill up, where are they going to go? They don't have anywhere. So what we have to do is we have to tell them, sorry, we don't have any place for you to go. Can you park your car in a lit parking lot? So these girls go through this whole thing, and now we don't have anywhere for them to go, so we just suggest a lit parking lot that they can stay in their car, which isn't, there's nothing we can really do about it until we get homes set up and get things off the ground, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. And so there are places that they can go, but whether or not they get filled up in time, or do they have enough bedroom, I mean, there's a lot of things that play into that. So what I work with doesn't have homes, just to make that clear. We don't necessarily work with human trafficking victims. Usually that starts at SARC and places like that, just to make that a little clear. But yes, the thing with human trafficking is that a lot of the times we just say girls. Girls are the victims. Girls, the kids, you know, we don't really realize that it does happen to guys as well. Yeah, it's like 80%, and then the other percent is boys, but that doesn't mean that it's not happening to them, and it is getting worse. So yes, boys are accepted into all of that, and they are considered just as much human trafficking victims as girls are, because it's happening to them too, the same way, the same things. So it does happen to them as well. So.
So who's that girl there? I wonder what went wrong so that she had to roam the streets. She doesn't do major credit cards, I doubt she does receipts. It's all not quite legitimate. And what a scummy man. Just give him half a chance, I bet he'll rob you if he can. Can see it in his eyes, yeah, that he's got a driving ban amongst some other offences. And I've seen him with girls of the night, and he told Roxanne to put on her red light. They're all infected, but he'll be alright, 'cause he's a scumbag, don't you know? I said he's a scumbag, don't you know? Proposition. I'm sorry, love, I'll have to turn you down. Oh, we must be up to summer. What are the chances? Sure, it's more than likely. I've got a feeling in my stomach. I start to wonder what his story might be, what his story might be. Yeah, 'cause they said it changes when the sun goes down. Yeah, they said it changes when the sun goes down. And they said it changes when the sun goes down. Around here, around. Here comes a portmanteau. Isn't he Mr. Inconspicuous? And he don't even have to say, oh, she's in a to get